Good day, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope the previous video has helped you a lot on how to read. So we are going to continue on this on how to read a text effectively. But before we go to this video, before we go to the presentation and everything, I would just like to ask that can you please share the video, subscribe, and don't forget to like. Okay, let's get back to it. How to read a text effectively. Remember, now we want to teach our children to know how to read and how they have to read effectively. Okay, so I'm going to share a few tips that can help you read a text effectively for a child. So we need to consider the following tips to read a text effectively. So we have to choose appropriate material, age appropriate for the learner. If the child is 5 years old, you need to select books or texts that are suitable for a child that is 5 years old and that will interest a child that is 5 years old. For an example, you can choose books that have images, and if a child is 5 years old, you don't have to take a book that has a lot of writing on it, but just take a book that has images and just a few lines or sentences. Okay, the next one, we need to create a cozy environment. A child doesn't want to feel clustered or not at ease in an environment in which they are in. So we need to find a quiet, comfortable place to read, free from distractions. Don't put toys around because the child will start looking around, wanting to play with the toys and so on. But the environment should be free from anything that will distract the child. Okay. For a child who's very young, like 5 years old, 6 years old, you can always use animated voices. For example, if you look at the picture at the top with the dog saying hoof, so when you read that to a child, don't just read it in a boring way saying hoof, but say hoof so that the child can enjoy the book and it makes it fun for the child. We go to the next one, encourage interaction. Ask open-ended questions about the story or characters or pictures to encourage discussion. And this will also help you to know whether the child is following in the story or not. And as the child shares what they have read or understood, you will know that the child is not only reading for the sake of reading, but there is also comprehension that is taking place. So the next one is point to pictures. Always show the child. Point to the picture. For younger children, point to pictures and describe them to enhance their understanding. Read slowly and clearly. Enunciate words clearly and read at a pace that allows the child to follow along. Then we have to also use gestures. Incorporate hand gestures or actions related to the story to make it more interactive. Pause for questions. Maybe the child wants to ask questions or anything. So during reading, pause during the reading to allow the child to ask questions or to make comments. Make prediction. Encourage the child to predict what might happen next in the story. And be patient. Allow the child to take their time processing the story and asking questions. And also, when we teach children to read, we know not all of them will be able to read at the pace in which we want them to be able to read. But some may take some more time, some may be very quick in reading. So be very patient with the child, especially when they have to pronounce the word. Allow them to look at the alphabets. Allow them to put those alphabets together, like we have explained in the previous presentation. So be very patient. This is very important. Foster a love for reading. Show your own enthusiasm for reading and make reading a positive and enjoyable experience. Respect preferences. Let the child choose books that interest them, even if they are outside your own preference. If the child wants to read a certain book, allow the child to read that book. Remember, reading should be fun and a bonding experience. So adapt your approach to the child's age and individual needs, and always be patient and encouraging. I hope that this video will help a few parents out there or anyone who is helping a child to read. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe to my YouTube.